I decided to take some time and finally get around to fixing the light leak that I had on my Hasselblad, as you saw in my previous video. To test it out, I took a trip down to Venice and walked around the Venice canals. I wanted to call this episode Chasing the Light, mostly because it reflects my style. I'm very big on contrast and seeing how the light falls on certain things. Originally, my concept was to go to downtown and see how the light goes through certain buildings. That was unfortunately changed for many reasons that I won't go into, but we walked around quite a bit, and I was mostly searching for dimly lit areas where there was a small highlights of the sun passing through. And I'll briefly talk about how I shot certain things. I'll also make a note on here as far as the aperture and shutter speed that I shot everything at. Keep in mind that this video is not full comparison, mostly just my observations. For those of you that are curious, I actually shot both of these rolls of film on my Hasselblad 500C, which is a medium format camera. I had both rolls sent over to the same photo lab to develop just for consistency. Once I got them back, I used the same scanner as well for the same reasons. So just a little bit of background info on the process. Be sure to stick around towards the end of the video where I give you more of my insight and opinions as to which film stock you should choose. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Over the course of shooting the video, you'll notice that there weren't many drastic changes to the aperture and shutter speed, mostly because the sun stayed pretty consistent and I didn't need to change much as well. I didn't use a light meter. Most of this was just kind of gauging it and based off of experience and what I thought would work best for the scene. Over time, I started to notice as I was scanning the film that I started getting different results and seeing the different results from the Ilford HP5 versus the Kodak 400TX. One of the more significant differences that you'll notice between the Ilford HP5 and the Kodak 400 is how Ilford renders its shadows. I noticed that a significant amount of detail is lost on the darkest darks for the Ilford HP5 compared to the 400 where there was more detail. Also, the Ilford HP5, I felt that there was somewhat of a grayish tone over the shot itself, and I thought it might have just been my aperture and how I took the shot itself, but this was pretty consistent throughout multiple shots. had a lot of fun shooting both of these film stocks, and I can definitely begin to see each of their characteristics that make them unique. Also begin to understand that why there are many photographers that lean more towards Kodak Ilford HP5. In my personal opinion, I was not able to come to a conclusion as to suggest which one over the other you should pick. I think it comes down to what it is that you're trying to execute and get out of the film itself. If you are an experienced photographer or even a beginner photographer and you're looking to just kind of pick up some film quickly and then shoot it and develop it at box speed, would definitely suggest the Kodak 400TX. The contrast, the grain, the shadow detail is pretty much already there when shot at box speed. And I say this because I did find that the Ilford film shot at box speed, I did see some images that came out a little flat in my opinion. And I have experimented before shooting the Ilford HP5 at a different ISO outside of its normal box speed. For example, shooting it at 1600, and I have found it definitely a lot better when shot outside of its normal box speed. For example, shooting it at 1600, a lot more contrast was there, which is to my personal taste. So I definitely think that if you have experience pulling and pushing your film, definitely look into getting the Ilford HP5. Go-to film is going to be, if you just want to pick it up, Kodak TX 400. A lot of my shots on here were underexposed. That's just normally how I shoot. I would also suggest that if you're going to go out there and shoot, it's always better to, of course, shoot overexposed. You can go ahead and bring back a lot more of that, the contrast and detail in post-production. And that's just a small suggestion. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to let me know in the comments down below which film stock you prefer. Do you prefer Ilford HP5 or Kodak TX 400 and why? Well, be sure to follow me on social media. My Instagram is @Uberalis. If you'd like to get a hold of some of these images that I took and shot in a raw format, feel free to shoot me a DM and I'll gladly go ahead and shoot that over just so you can take a look at them in more detail. Anyway, thanks for watching and I'll catch you guys in the next one.